Today, Cabinet considered the draft text that is being worked on via officials, which will become the basis of an agreement for travel between the Cook Islands and New Zealand. That draft text is near conclusion. The next phase will be the verification phase. That is where we have officials on both sides who undertake work on the ground to assure ourselves that we're meeting the expectations on both sides. Our expectation at this stage is that we will have travel between officials undertaking that verification work within about the next 10 days. The third phase, of course, will then be final details, confirmation of advice from the Director-General and confirmation of Cabinet and the Government of the Cook Islands confirming travel beyond that. Whilst we haven't put a time frame around the reopening at this stage, our expectation is that it would be in place before the end of the year. We haven't wanted to give dates beyond that while we're still undertaking that verification work, and that's on both sides, both for the Cook Islands and for New Zealand. One thing to keep in mind, there's been a lot of focus on the aviation side of the border, making sure that we have separation at any of the airports that would be utilised, separate transit and so on. Another factor is the maritime border. Of course, both New Zealand and the Cook Islands do have people coming and going through either pleasure crafts or, of course, through cargo. We do need to assure both sides that the rigour that we apply from the aviation side is being applied at the maritime border as well. So that is something that will be a significant part of the verification process that we expect officials to undertake. So that's a progress update. Considerable work has gone on to getting us to this point, and of course with that draft text almost agreed, that means now that we have agreement over who would be eligible, how it would operationally work, but now we just need to assure ourselves of the measures on the ground. So essentially, those who would legally be able to be in New Zealand would be eligible, but of course beyond New Zealand passport holders and so on, then it would be a matter of meeting the Cook Islands visa requirements. So essentially those who are here would be eligible, but if they're not New Zealand citizens, they may need to go through an extra stage. And I expect that we'll be getting another update in the next 2 weeks on progress. I expect that in roughly the next 10 days or so that we will have people undertaking that on-the-ground verification process. So we are giving those milestones just to keep people up to date with the work that's being done. It is not a simple exercise, and it is one where we are exercising that caution. The last thing anyone wants is to reopen travel only to have it closed down because it hasn't been done properly.